Sup fuckers, welcome to Population Zero, and I'm going to give this review as much effort as the devs gave us. One thing I want to say before I get started on all this is I didn't want to bash on the devs. I think that they had an idea, turned out poorly, and then the game kind of sucks, but it's not really their fault. You know, they're going out on a limb, they're trying something new. But I did realize that on Reddit, they're creating fake accounts or having Discord moderators create fake accounts to give the game reviews. And if you look at the recent Steam reviews that are all positive, you'll notice that all of the games have, between 2 and 10 games on their accounts. They have, this is their first review. And I'm optimistic. I like to think that, maybe that the brand new Reddit account that only ever posts in Pop Zero and only ever gives it good reviews, or the Steam account that's brand new and only has 2 games and only gave this game a good review, maybe they're legit. But yeah, I'll let you make your own decision because they're probably fucking assholes. For those who haven't played the game yet and are thinking about buying it, don't bother. We'll get into why you shouldn't buy it later. But let me explain the leveling system in this game first. It's a little bit wonky. Everything runs on a 7-day cycle. You start your character, you got 7 days to play him. End of 7 days, you die, everything on the map gets reset. If you make it to the end of the quest line or whatever, you get into a pod and you get to keep playing your character. I don't know. I didn't bother playing that far. So every 7 days, when you die and you start a new character, that's how you gain XP towards your account. Higher level your account, you unlock more shit like story modes, another level of construction to build houses, Iron Man mode, perks, stupid shit like that. You only really need to get to level 4 to experience the whole game. I've talked to a few people that say the true story is just about the same as the regular story. Iron Man mode is just the game, like normal. Just if you die, you're fucked. Construction 2, Construction 3, you can build the exact same houses. You just have to build them out of tougher materials, and they're harder to get. But the 7-day aspect has a glaring flaw. It's not based on when your character plays. It's just the second you start them, you have a 7-day timer. 168 hours. Not really. We'll get into that. It ain't really 168 fucking hours. Let me do a little bit of math for you here. So, let's say you're an average human being, where you've got obligation. Let's say either school, or college, or you have a fucking job, or whatever. Maybe you have school and a part-time job. I don't know. So let's just say you get up in the morning and you instantly teleport to work. And you work your 8-hour shift and you instantly teleport home. That still takes away 40 hours a week worth of gameplay. So you play all day. Now, let's say you sleep 6 hours a night. You're not getting the recommended amount. You're not getting your 8 hours. That's going to take another 42 hours away. So your character's lifespan is already shorted out 82 hours, giving you about 96 hours of actual time you get to play on your character. 96 hours is not shit for an MMO, let alone a survival MMO. That doesn't get you fucking anywhere. In this game, it gets you far. You can experience almost the whole game in 100 hours. Probably, I would say, like 10 hours. This is the glaring flaw of the 168-hour MMO survival character. Let's go ahead and start a new character in PvE mode, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. After you're done with an annoyingly long load screen, though, you get to your character, and you can check how many hours you have left before your character gets reset. At the top up here, you see it says 6 days, 10 hours, 44 minutes. That's not 168 hours. I get shorted about 14 hours when you make your character. I've remade quite a few characters, and it seems like most of the time it's like between 10 to 15 hours that you lose out on playing. And they could be screwing you here, just trying to get you to restart characters quicker. But one of the main reasons is so few people are even playing this game anymore. They're just bunching everyone together who have kind of remotely the same time limit. So if you have 6 days left to play, and you log in with 6 days left to play, you'll be combined with other players that have the same amount of time as you. There's such a difference in the amount of times, though. Like, one player could be 2 days left, while another 5, and a new player just starting. But since the system is set up on the 7-day timer per session, you just kind of all group together, and you just get to lose out on your time to play. So if you go to work, you sleep, and then the game screws you over, of your 168 hours, you're losing about half that amount of time of playing. You're down to about 80. And I took out the more realistic numbers. I just gave you the bare minimum. You might work more than 40 hours. You could work less. You might sleep. One day you might sleep 10 hours. One day you might go to the store. You might have to take a shit. You might have to eat lunch. So when you really look at it, if you played all the time, all your possible time playing this character in your week, you're only going to get to play your character for about 70 hours, maybe less, and then he's just deleted, or she, I'm not going to discriminate, whatever. They're just deleted, and all the progress you made throughout the game is gone. If you built a house, it's gone. If you collected all these items, it's gone. And then you just start a new character. And then you get to redo everything. There's nothing really new about starting a new character, except for maybe you get PvP mode. Maybe you'll get Iron Man mode or story mode, but your character still starts at the bottom every single time. This is the main hub. This is where every quest you have to go out and do, which are all gathering quests. Either kill X amount of mobs, gather X amount of meat, gather X amount of stone, do X amount of fucking whatever. You go do the quest, come back here, turn it in, go out, do the quest, come back here, turn it in, go out, do the quest, come back here, turn it in. That's all there is. This is the MMO aspect of the game. You might see some people down there. I think 2 of them are players. This is what it looks like. This is a populated session. If you go into PvP, you're lucky to fucking see anybody. But this is just what it looks like. This is your MMO. This is the massively multiplayer game. This is online. I'm going to go check this person out. They look pretty geared. Let's see what we can do. Let's interact with them. No. All right, hold on E. No. Click. No. Right click. Well, let's try this guy. Okay. Can't trade. Can't interact. Can I do anything? This is your multiplayer game. And he just walks off. You can talk to the people. That's about as multiplayer as this gets. And if you consider 4 people massive, okay, I guess it is massively multiplayer. See this guy right over here? What he's doing is killing himself repeatedly. Because if you kill yourself enough, you turn into a mutant. They don't do fucking anything. They do the same damage as you do. They start in the same area you do. And they just move a little bit quicker. That's the only thing. They attack players, but not in PvE, only in PvP. So if you die too many times, the bar in the top left goes from human to mutant. You become a mutant, and then you just wait to die, and then your character gets reset, and you lose everything. Now, I want to talk about the survival aspect of this. When you think of survival games, something like Minecraft, something like 7 Days to Die, or Conan Exiles, the one goal they always have is becoming self-sufficient. Grow your own crops, maybe start a farm so you can have food, maybe build a well so you can always have water. This game has none of that. Your whole life in this game is going to be gathering, constantly gathering, always trying to find better water, always getting food, always getting materials. You never do anything that becomes self-sufficient. The food and water levels, though, fucking kill you in this game. They are horrible. You get hungry and thirsty so quick by just doing everyday tasks. And it's, as far as I can tell, aside from bandages, the only way to regenerate is if you have both of them either full or almost full. I'm going to give you guys a taste of the combat in this, and I'm not criticizing it too much on the combat because most survival games like this, you know, Conan, blah, 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 so on and so forth, don't have very good combat, but this shit is just boring and tedious. I'm going to equip the Founder Today stuff because my dumbass bought the fucking DLC on an early access game like an idiot. This group up here are some of the first enemies you'll encounter in the game. You got the Kavars, which is the lizard fuckers, and you got the Utes, which are these cute little fuckers that you can also murder. So when you attack these fuckers, they actually vomit on you, causing intoxication, reducing your stamina. The very first enemies in the game have a status effect that slows you down. Also, every time you use stamina, you use up more of your water and food, which you'll have to recover fucking constantly. You are constantly running out of food and water all the time. And it's pretty normal for a survival game to have to bring plenty of food, plenty of water, but the big issue I have is one of the main storyline quests, one of the first quests you do, I think it's the second quest, requires to take meat back to the hub. Not just a little bit of meat, about 80 meat. And most of the enemies you get the meat from, which you need to use for food, which you need to regenerate your stamina and health, the enemies will drop about 1, maybe 2. So minimum, you're killing 40 of them. I want to do the first quest of the game just to kind of set the mood, set the ambiance for the rest of the review. And let me tell you, every quest is just about the same. Go get item, come back. That's it. The way the devs designed this first quest, not the whole quest, just part of the quest, is one of the biggest glaring issues of this game that just shows the devs have no fucking clue what they're doing. The first quest in the game has you collecting void tissues, which can be found on these little markers. Now, your first instinct of any gamer is going to be to go to the one of 2 nodes that are the closest to you on the map. And I'm going to show you why they fucked it up from the get-go. Oh, this is kind of cool too, if anyone's watching that plays the game and wants a quick hint. If you're running without a weapon, you can dash, you can punch, you can dash punch. and you can actually go pretty fucking quick. You guys see an issue with the first spot we have to go to? It's on top of a fucking mountain. If you were playing this game for your first time, not sure how to get around this shit, it's not going to be fun exploring. It's going to be a pain in the ass trying to figure out how to get up there. Luckily, I've already done this quest 20 times and I just know how to do it. Are you guys ready for this tomfuckery? The very closest node to the hub from F14 to H17 causes a status ailment. It causes you to get hypothermia if you get too close in this area. The temperature in the top right drops to -5. You get hypothermia, and you will actually start to lose health and die from this. Not to mention, if you look at my water there, it took me about half my supply of water and a little bit of my hunger to get here. Now I want to show you one other little thing. See this area over here? And a little bit. If you walk over here, the temperatures don't change gradually. See, now it's 20 degrees Celsius. It's always a line. It goes from 20 to -5 instantly. There's no progression like there is in, once again, Conan. It just goes from 20 to -5 instantly. So here you are. You have to collect these. They're just on the ground. Dodge the enemies. Everything's easy as fuck to dodge if you're not stupid. I'm going to go ahead and show you the next quest. I'm not going to do this one. I'm not going to turn it in. I'm just going to show you the next quest. Just so you get, compound interest on the bullshit. Here's another little glitch if you guys want to get down walls or fucking anything quicker. You have a jump attack. Every weapon you have out, unarmed, all that stuff, you have a jump attack. So if you're coming up to a ledge and you think it might be a little high, just jump off the ledge and actually do your dash attack into the wall. And most of the time you can just clip into the wall. You guys may have noticed, just running, just sprinting, I've almost ran out of water. It used to be worse when the game first came out. You could make a flask and it would have 10 uses, and each use would replenish like fucking none of your water. They changed it now so a flask can hold 30 instead of 10. Each drink does a third. So you can use it roughly 10 times if you're out of water before it's just empty and you gotta run to either this oasis coming up on my right or all the way back to the fucking hub to get more water. Alright, we made it to the oasis, yay! Well, let's take a little sippy sip of the water to drink up, replenish our bar. I'm going to show you the next bullshit. This is the area where the next quest is. You can't see it on my marker because I didn't accept it or turn the first one because you know zero effort. Fuck it. Let me show you the first enemy you encounter out in the desert. And another thing to point out, if you notice the temperature went up to 55 degrees Celsius right up there on the top right. You go from 20 to 55, which I don't know the conversion rate, but it's fucking hot. This fucker. These are the enemies you find in the desert. They're invisible. They crawl under the sand. You can't see them. They hop up. They hit you. And also, they do bleeding. So you get heat stroke from being in the desert, unless you have the right gear. And even if you have the best gear, you still get heat stroke. You get bleeding. You get attacked. And your food and water run out quicker. Second quest of the game. Fucking love it. And here it is. Collect obsidian. You can do it with any pick. Or, sorry. My bad. Thorium. Fuck it. You collect these 3 nodes, and that's it. You'll probably get maybe 10. Oh, there's 4. Look at that. If I recall correctly, I think you need 200. So you can kill these ones, wait for them to respawn, or you can fucking risk going out into the heat with little spider crab stabby fuckers and dying. Most people would just stay right here, take these 4 nodes, wait. Take these 4 nodes, wait. Take the nodes, and then once you get to 200, you go all the way back to the hub and turn it in. And that's what this game boils down to. Everything's a status ailment. Everything will kill you. Everything is heat stroke. You have to grind and grind and grind to get enough gear so you could actually survive here. Also, it's not just heat desert. If you go down south, there's frozen wastes, blizzard tundra. If you go far enough to the west, you get to a toxic area where everything will kill you there. You get intoxication. It's just, instead of putting effort into this game, they cut it down to you only have 7 days to make it, and you can't explore because just everything will fucking kill you. You go too far north, heat. South, you got blizzard. West, you got toxins. So you just have to spend, your limited amount of time just grinding away to get items to make gear so you can survive. And then after 7 days, it's fucking gone. That's it. You get to do it all again. You don't get perks to make it quicker. You don't get some kind of awesome fucking bonus. It's just you grind, then you lose. And then you grind, and then you lose. Now, I can best equate this to imagine playing Minecraft without that much mining and with very little crafting. And that's about the game. Get the resources and do fucking nothing with them, except for turn in the quests, then repeat. The skill tree in this game is actually pretty weird. They tried some kind of like weird tech tree like you see in most games, but everything is kind of the same. You just level up and then you get stone weapons. Level up, you get bone weapons, and for some reason bone is stronger, which I don't really understand. You level up, you get metal weapons. You level up, you get more metal. You level up, you get xenofungus, which I never got to because I don't really give a fuck. There's nothing really unique or interesting in any of this. Just, make leather so you can make armor. Oh, this is a bigger container. Oh, this is armor. This is this. This is that. The building, there is not a whole lot of building to it. It's just a basic building. There's no crafting benches. There's nothing like that. You can't actually make a settlement. It would just basically be a place to, I don't know, fucking sit in, look at, tell your parents you bought a house, make them proud of you. I don't actually know what it's for. And then let me show you really quick how to level up. Get the little tip or the prep. Let me show you how you get those. I got some tip and geology. You use your tip to unlock new stuff, and when you get later on, you see these little botany, plants, geology, rocks, geodacity, exploration, zoology, animals. Once you get into the later levels, you need to have... Let me find something that has it. You can get far in this tree quickly. See, these all have 0 requirements, so you can get about halfway through the fucking tree without really finding shit. So let me find something that's got requirements on it. A lot of this shit doesn't have requirements. Oh, here's one. 5 botany. Most of the shit you get to, though, I'm pretty sure it's just a roadblock. Yeah, so you can't pass this one without 5 zoology. Zoology. Can't pass this one without 6 audacity. Sorry, geology. I want to show you guys about the perk system. I don't fucking understand it. I'll just randomly get a perk sometimes. And then I use my perip to buy a slot. Then you drag your perk into the slot. Or you can upgrade the slot with more perip. But I don't know. Every perk I got, the only perk I ever got that was worth a shit, lowered the amount of heat you took. Everything else was like, increases 1% damage when using a finishing attack with a spear when it's in your main hand and it's Tuesday. They're just dumb. And you get a bunch of them, but they're pretty much fucking worthless. And also, if you look up there, permanent perks affects you and stay with you even after you die. That's when you die once. That's not when you reset. Like, you delete your character after the 7 days. You'll lose those ones. But this is talking, you could die. And if you do not have a perk saved in either permanent perks or saved perk, you fucking lose that perk if you die. I know that the devs were going for something new here, they were trying a new kind of style of gaming. A mix between survival and MMO and maybe like a roguelike game where, you gotta get so much done and then you can get farther the next time. But it falls flat on everything. It's not a survival game. The only thing survival about this, you drink and eat water. That's it. You're not trying to build a base or build a community or do anything. You eat and drink. That makes the fucking Sims a survival game. That makes the Sims more survival game than this fucking game is. As for the MMO, I know there's people playing at the same time, but a bunch of people playing at the same time doesn't necessarily make it massively multiplayer. You don't interact with other people outside of chat if you're on a PvE server. You just see them, you kind of fight over some resources, and then you go about your day. There was no real trading or interactions or emotes or duels or anything. They were just other people playing. It reminds me a lot of how Guild Wars originally was multiplayer, where you'd see people in the major town, but you never had a group with anyone. You go out in the world, you don't see anybody. You don't actually play. There was no real multiplayer feeling to this game. And when they first released it, there was no multiplayer. You couldn't co-op. Then they made it so you could co-op, but you had to delete your character to join your friend's character on his session. And from what I gathered, I haven't done it, but if your friend only has 2 hours left to play, and you have 6, and you delete your character and play on his character with a new one, then your new character will only have 2 hours worth of play. The whole 7-hour or 7-day system was it failed from the start before it ever took off. And this isn't one of those, maybe I'll buy the game or look at the game in a couple of years or a couple of months to just see how it's doing. Maybe it's worth getting out. No, there's no way this concept is going to work. So a major issue was the time limit, the 7 days. Now, if you get rid of the 7-day thing and let people keep playing, you're going to hit the end of the game within 10, 15 hours. You're going to have all the quests done, and there's just going to be gathering nonstop, always getting more food, always getting more water, while trying to get resources to build a house, and then that's the end of the game for you anyways. This game has no play value to it. The most you're ever going to play out of this game is maybe 30 hours before you've just finished everything it has to offer. So before I end this, I want to point out 2 more glitches really quick. One's with the combat, and it doesn't work too well on these guys, but it'll show you the example. And the next one is with building homes. So when you're in combat with a bigger enemy, what you can do is actually jump attack into their bodies. So let's get this guy a little closer. Jump attack, and you can go inside of him, and then he can no longer hit you. He will just keep swinging, but then you can boop him in the fucking dome, and then just back up. You can do this, as far as I can tell, with any enemy in the game. If you just keep kind of moving, juking around a little bit, so his front never fully faces you, he'll just keep missing. I'm showing off poorly right now. So, the second thing I wanted to point out was the building, and I don't want to run over there because that means I have to play more of this game. See this little area right here? This is what you're allowed to build your home in. These jagged little lines. That's what's suitable for building. All of this other shit, and I like to point out the whole map, but this map is small. You know, I have already explored in the, 20 minutes I've been playing, probably about 10% of the map. You can run from one side to the other from top to bottom quickly. That's why they added kill zones everywhere. You got the heat kill zone to the north, toxins, blizzard, bleed, electricity, I think one of the enemies do. I don't fucking know. That's how they made their game last long. Don't put in content, make everything kill you, make you have to grind for everything. But what I'm curious about, and I didn't see this, these little spaces, there's about, I think, 6 of them, right? Let's say this game worked as intended and people loved it and they were like, grinding fucking makes my dick hard. These spaces aren't big. I'm gonna die. Doesn't matter. You can still see the map. So if the game worked as intended, how many people were actually expected to build in this little area? Like with PvP on. You got what? Is everyone supposed to hang out and cuddle and just no one fucking fights anymore? And they all just build little homes together? Building homes is a pain in the ass, super resource heavy, and apparently you'd have to have fucking neighbors. Yeah, fuck you.